Alright, so, where I leave off. Oh, yeah. I left off with the whole, down with that whole corporation, kill them all, and mumbo jumbo, which, by the way, for the record, I may have said that punish it by death, and they probably do have it coming. But, based on the man upstairs who I believe in, he's actually recently taught me humility. And because of that, I can't hold blame to them, for what they done to me. Because if I blame them for too long and don't forgive them for shit, welcome to another one of my problems. Never learn to let it go. But, so therefore, they may deserve it, but who am I to decide to judge that? What makes me so damn self-righteous? So I can't. But we can still stop them. In fact, this is where the greatest part of this whole story is. Because, this wasn't meant to be some sad, little depressing story in the life of me. Because the thing that I did, I was at a point where I was either gonna, if I stayed for too long, I was either gonna end up, being known as the boy who snapped and murdered his foster parents because I started having those ideas. This is how fucked up I got while in the system. It's either that or I end up taking my own life. And my family, of course, they could see that, it's like every day that they did get to see me, it's like a little bit more of me died. And they knew that a lot of it had to do with what was going on in that particular house. But they also looked at what my older brother and older sister went through. They went through the same stuff. Although they didn't end up having to take medication. See, their foster parents were smart. They just kind of said, just say take the medication and we'll spend this money on you. Yeah. Anyways, what ended up happening was, which was kind of strange because, my family taught me, do as you're fucking told or else. And it's like, everyone had like this whole, I thought everyone would be worried sick about me when I ran away. And yeah, they were, because, I ran off and ran to the streets. But everybody was glad that I left that place. It's because they all knew, that something was wrong. They even knew me back then, back in, like, the beginning stages. I call it the beginning stages of my madness because I've actually been able to trace it back even further back beyond foster care. But, you know, back then I didn't know because, you know, I still had innocence of a child. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know this feeling that I felt, you know, or why I thought different things, and how I knew the difference from right or wrong, and, you know. But, yeah, welcome to life of a kid growing up in America, huh? Land of the free. Anyways, actually an interesting thought. We'll get to that later, though. I ended up running away. And it was strange because, yeah, I was homeless, sleeping on the streets. And I've already fucked up and ended up, you know, laughing to an old school member, you know, old school versus new school out, you know, on talking about the street kids downtown. I wasn't even out for that long, and I already fucked up and laughed in one of their faces. And he wanted to kill me for a while, but, you know, we actually did put aside our differences, and we actually ended up being friends afterwards. And because of that, you know, all the rumors I heard about him being what they said he was, I don't give a shit. Because this dude really was about to kill me, and like, no shit. But we ended up being friends somehow. But with all that, living out on the streets, sidewalk, you know, having them bone chills, that's where you get so cold that the very core of your bones are actually cold. And it takes like 8 hours of sitting on the heater just to begin to actually be able to recognize that as heat touching you. Yeah. But, you know, through all that, it's like those were like some of my happiest moments growing up. It was when I was out on the streets, homeless, outside, on a sidewalk. I had this lady who was 40 years old saying, I'm 40 years old and I've been homeless out here, and my life is going nowhere. You really want to do the same damn thing? It's like where I came from. It's like I couldn't comprehend that there was anything better than being homeless compared to what I grew up with. It was hard. It was impossible for me. And anyways, I ended up getting arrested out there. But it turned out, remember earlier in my story when I said, you know, foster care wouldn't listen to me because I was a kid. What did I know? Plus I had ADHD on top of that. It turns out that, you know, any learning disability is just retarded to them. Anyways, let's say I ended up showing them retarded. So, I requested that I be put in Harry's Mother. It's a place for troubled teens, for those of you who don't know. And the reason why is because the teens they take in are absolutely terrified of police. Now, I knew when I ran away, because being in the whole state and foster care system, they would still have no choice but to file one report. You know, just to shut them the fuck up. And then, but I knew that would only last for a couple of days, because they really did not believe in calling the cops when a teenager decides to run away from them. You know, for them, their services are just for, you know, people who actually want it. You know, the whole lead a horse same concept. But, anyways, a couple days later, the same cops who arrested me for, you know, before, and I know a lot of you guys know who Officer Dobson and Officer Cox, if you're from Portland, yeah, you guys know them little dickholes. And I will not take that back. That is what they are. You know, if they don't like me calling that, well, hey, stop giving me reasons to. And, although I will give them respect on one thing, they did actually, I will give credit where credit's due, is they did actually try to give me advice saying, hey, go check in the nappy so you're not out here on the streets at night and you have a warm place to sleep. I will respect them for that. But everything else they did, like taking a pot, charging you for a pot, and then turning around and smoking it with the pipe they also confiscated from me. Nah. Part of upholding. First of all, I'm not for that criminalizing marijuana thing. But if you're gonna make it against the law, part of upholding the law is setting the example. Yeah. And that's a kid telling this is supposed to be a kid telling full-grown men that. And anyways, the same cops, I even played it off like this wasn't even planned. But I also confessed, because I knew that even if I confessed that I ran away again, they couldn't do anything. Because they ran my name in. You know, I even was like, here, go ahead, arrest me. They said, no, we're going to do this the old-fashioned way. Yeah, that's what they said. And then the coolest thing happened, just as I planned. The voice on their walkie-talkie said he had one report that's been lifted as 2 days ago. See, like I said, when you give someone mental illness, you've created a weapon. The only problem is, when you create a weapon, it's great to know if you did. Because if you don't, it's a weapon against you. And that's exactly what they made. The only reason why the stuff that followed happened, you know, where they threatened my mom with jail time if she didn't call the cops for, you know, me coming home late and all that, is because the 14-year-old kid who everybody thought didn't know who the fuck he was talking about, the one who they thought had a learning disability, thought wasn't smart, managed to take them of their power. Just like that. So once my one report is gone, they couldn't do nothing. The DHS actually cannot legally fire a one report if you run from your foster home, because it is not them who were appointed as your guardians, because they were the ones who appointed your foster parents. And actually, believe it or not, there was never ever, in the course of the history of this country, in any state, a law passed where it's required that if your child runs away, you have to file one report. It was never passed. And yet we're enforcing it like there is such a law. There is no written law. That's all a lie. Nobody voted for it. They just said, oh yeah, this has been a law. And believe me, I did my research. There's absolutely no record of the idea being introduced. Yeah. So then how are we suddenly enforcing a law that don't exist? And the only reason why they didn't do that is, well, you know, the 14-year-old who they thought was a dumbass ended up taking their power away. They were already scared of me. And the way that, I'm guessing, the way they saw it, because, you know, really, I knew I had potential for a lot of great things, but didn't quite understand it yet. The only thing is it scared them. That means if we could scare them like that,